When you buy something and you get coins back, what do you do with them? Well, I have the perfect suggestion for you. Why not give those coins to charity? Change to charity, in fact. What's that, you ask? Well, I'm sure many of you want to know about it, and today we have, as representatives of that organization, one person in particular, Weston, along with a representative of some of the organizations that benefit from that organization. So the first one being Giselle Matthews, representing PALS. Welcome to Good Morning, SKN.
Welcome, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning. You're certainly welcome.
So we're talking about change today, in fact, change for charity. What is it about, and whose brainchild is it?
It was my brainchild, but I can't take all the credit because there are already so many different retail outlets and stores that offer the option for customers at checkout to make a donation. Those donations only go to one organization typically, and I wanted, given the economic environment, given COVID, given that there's so many worthy causes out there, that we be able to reach more of them. Especially during COVID when no one was able to fundraise and the need in so many different aspects was greater, I wanted a way, or I looked for a way to be able to help more than one charity. And so change represents money change, and it represents making a change. And sorry, I'm not very good at public speaking.
No,
so
but
bear
I'm
with
following
me.
you so far.
You're doing great.
You're doing well.
Great, thank you. We decided that we would, I came up with the idea, I made a proposal to RAMS. Coincidentally and thankfully they're my family, and they liked my proposal. We discussed it, and now here we are.
So Giselle, what is PALS and what is your organization's objective?
So PALS is the Pediatric Assistance League of St. Kitts and Nevis, and it was established back in 1990. We've helped hundreds of children over that period of time. But more recently, in the last, I would say, 10 years, PALS has we've used the social media and the change in technology and communication to sort of ramp up PALS and allow the public to get involved and engage the public on PALS. In its inception, it was a quiet organization funded quietly by just a group of people, many who are expats who were sort of living here, wanted to help the children of St. Kitts, and so quietly. But 10 years ago, I was offered the position of president, and Carolyn Chisholm, who's now the president, I'm the executive director, and so we engaged all the local businesses, and more cases were coming about, obviously, so we needed more support. Our mission is to provide the necessary financial resources required for families who do not have the means to send their child overseas for medical care. So it's specifically designed to help those who need emergency or critical care outside of St. Kitts and Nevis. That's the main purpose and mission of PALS. And then the role is to raise the funds required. Or to have the funds handy that we can get that child out as soon as we can.
All right, so there are a couple of things that I want to know. One is, when did this marriage take place? Because you're obviously benefiting from Change for Charity. So how did that take place? And the other one is that I'd like to get an update on little Bria and her condition as well.
So if I can answer the first question, or you go with Brianna, you decide.
Well, I'd like to just plug RAMS for a second, because this relationship between us started many years ago with RAMS. They've been one of the larger companies on St. Kitts who have come forward from the inception to be one of our platinum partners of PALS. And so we have always had the support of RAMS in terms of an annual check from the company for PALS. And I would like to appeal to many more companies to do the same while we're here.
There's your camera.
So that relationship started many years ago, including just the continued support throughout whenever we need it. We always know we can go to them. Sometimes we even say, no, not you this time, you know, we're gonna, but always coming forth. So that's where that partnership started years ago. And Marla's sister, Shoba, also now sits on the executive of PALS to assist us with events and fundraising and such. The second question was?
Little Bria, the update.
Little Bria. Oh, so little Bria, right now, she's still in hospital. She's stable. They're just, we're waiting currently to have a hospital accept her. Her case is very specialized, and so we have to make sure that she goes to the right location. Her surgery was done in COVID. We had a few cases that were emergency, she being one. She did go to a hospital in Santo Domingo, which took care of her and did her surgery back then. But as she's growing and developing, she needs to have several surgeries over time. And so her bands now need to be changed. However, with the language barrier in Santo Domingo, it was a bit of a challenge, but it was COVID, and we had to find partnerships outside of our regular World Pediatric Project partnership. And so we are now trying to, with the hospital, Ministry of Health is working with Carolyn, the past president. As we speak, they're on calls with hospitals today to find out which hospital will accept her and be able to handle the surgery that she needs. So we can give you an update later as to where she will be going, but stabilizing her so she could travel commercially is where we're at right now, and getting her to the right place. The fundraising, I'd like to say thank you so much to the general public and to the companies that have come forward. I don't have an exact figure, but I can tell you what JAD Cash has been amazing in terms of, I always say, if you give a little, we can get a lot. And JAD Cash, as of yesterday, was already at about just over 7,000 in JAD Cash alone. We have had a few companies come forward with a few checks. We'll give you the corporate sponsorship totals later in the week. We have had just over 10,000 in deposits at our PALS Scotiabank account, just over 3 days. And then at Harper's, we have a box there that is almost full. And we are going to get to that later to be able. So we'll be giving you some updates on these on our PALS page, on our Harper's page, and through our partners as to where we are.
If I could add to what Giselle said, well, not add to what Giselle said, add to your first question about marriage, because there are 10 charities within Change for Charity at this time. So how we went about choosing 10 charities, because there are so many worthwhile causes, as I said, was that we approached financial services in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we got a list of all the registered foundations and non-governmental organizations. We went with, and non-governmental typically means not-for-profit, but we made sure that everyone was a not-for-profit. We being me to begin with, I Google searched every single one of them to see, I wanted them to have a presence, I wanted to know that they were accessible, I wanted to know that they were community-based. And by community, I mean the St. Kitts community and the Nevis community, our federation. And then I reached out to all that seemed to fit within the goals that we were looking for. And those that were interested had to provide a certificate of good standing, because I wanted to make sure that they were following all the protocols that they should have been, that they've been active even during COVID, that they go through a screening process of how they help and who they help. Everybody should have that opportunity, but you always want it to be the ones that need it more, I suppose, or, you know, and that it was not for profit, that the board was not a paid board, those kinds of criteria they had to meet. And then everybody had the opportunity to submit a package. So the 10 that were chosen, not everyone responded. Okay. And the 10 that were chosen have a presence, because there are more charities within that just choose to do things privately. Right. And they didn't want to be a part of this. Okay. There is also on the website at RAMS my contact information, my email contact information. So any group that wanted to be a part of Change for Charity going forward could get in touch with me, provide us with the same information, and possibly, I say possibly, get onto the program. And I say possibly because this is a very new initiative, and we weren't sure how it was going to roll out. We weren't sure how it was going to be received. And we're not sure at this stage whether it's going to be on a 6-month rotation, a 3-month rotation, a yearly rotation, whether it's going to be successful. But we knew that we would help provide awareness for charities. We hope, and I look at the camera, wherever it is, and say, I hope that, as Giselle said, other corporations see it as an opportunity to help community, because none of us can be successful without each other. It takes a village. And the other thing I want to say is that it was something I should have said at the beginning, is that Change for Charity, one of the key aspects as well was that there are a lot of people that want to give. They may think that their giving is too small to make a difference, and it isn't. And this was the link that I thought would be helpful to get funds to the charity. So you can give at the end of your shopping experience. You have to tell the cashier at any one of the Rams locations that you would like to give to one of these charities, and they will add it to your bill. You can give by your cash, how you normally pay. It's one checkout. You give by cash, you give by credit card, however it is that you would normally pay. And that entire amount gets then given to the charity at the end of every quarter.
We are now joined by 2 representatives from BARC. That's the Basseterre Animal Rescue Centre. Andrea, Peda, and Peyton Barnett, and they have bought Rocket for us today. Hi, Rocket. Welcome to Good Morning SKN. He's like, yes, what?
Rocket's very happy to be here.
Yeah, he looks up. Hi. So, Andrea and Peyton, why do you volunteer at the BARC Centre?
Well, it is actually part of our passion, I would say. I think I'm speaking for both of us, but basically, it is a love of animals. It's a love of trying to kind of build that human-animal bond. It's not just about the animals, it's about the people, it's about the community. We're really, our goal is to, get out in the community, promote that sort of bond between the animals and their pet owners, and get animals off the street, save these animals, get them the care and the sort of welfare that they need, and basically have the community join in on it and get these animals into loving forever homes.
What's the feedback been like from the public?
So far, we've had a really great turnout as far as from the public. I think a lot of people still may not even know who BARC is, but it's becoming more and more of a known entity, I think, as time goes on. We really are trying to get our information out to the public, though, and I think this is a great way so that people can know what we're here for is to help animals. We're an animal shelter, so we basically are going to be helping animals that are homeless or animals that may have a home that can no longer take care of them. Right now, we are focusing primarily on dogs. In the future, we hope to help cats. We just don't have the facilities for that yet. Okay. But at the moment, we've been engaging the community through adoption days. We try and have put out on social media so that people can come by, see BARC, learn what we do, see our adoptable animals, find these animals great loving homes within the community, and the goal is to have people understand what we're here to help. We're here to help anyone in need with their pets. We provide, pet food pantries for people in need. We provide, education. We provide we're there for anyone who needs basic wellness. We partner with Ross University, who can provide low-cost wellness services in partnership with BARC. So, the students will come by the rescue facility and assist people when their pets in need.
Is Rocket available for adoption?
Rocket is.
Really? Wow. Guys, get Rocket. Rocket is actually available for adoption.
Rocket is a lovely dog that we've had in our BARC program since November of 2021. Okay. And he is very friendly male dog. He's a little nervous, I think, but he's happy to be here. And he's very sweet. He loves people. He loves other animals. And he's only about a year old, and he's looking for his forever home.
As Jamie said, we're matching, but the thing is, I can't put it out.
Hey,
My
Rocket.
yard's too small.
Oh, Giselle, I think Rocket likes you. Oh my gosh, this is so very interesting to me. Mala, again, you talked about deciding which charities made the list. When you decided on BARC, how did that come about? Was it the same process?
It was exactly the same process for all of the charities. I went to the FSRC, as I said to you. I got a list from them of everyone in good standing, St. Kitts and Nevis, and we just went through the list. In full transparency, I have to say I'm very involved in BARC myself. I do sit on that board, but I'll be at Pal's dinner helping them serve food if they need, and I'll be at the outreach center, helping. So I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family that always said success is never achieved by yourself, and when you're blessed and when you're fortunate, it's important to give back. And so it's just always been in my DNA.
That's great. So Andrea, Giselle, how important is it to have partners like Mala?
It's very important. I mean, our goal is to get as many, people involved as we can, and get as much support as we can. We can't do this without all of the support in the community, and I think it's critical to getting these charities, off the ground, and getting us to be sustainable is to really have community inputs, and Mala has been pivotal in that, in bringing us all together and getting all this this ball rolling for us. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Thank you.
What can I say about Mala? I've known Mala all my life. And we went to the same schools, and I think it's important when you're raising your kids that you teach them about charity. I think that's something we need to do better at in our schools here. In a lot of schools overseas, you cannot graduate unless you've done so many hours of charity, charitable work or community service. And my latter years in Canada taught me that you couldn't graduate. You could have a 98% average, but you're not going to graduate unless you've done your 40 hours of community service. And so I think that is where a lot of this comes from. And in your home, your parents telling you it's important to be charitable. And to give something, even if it was only $1,000 a month you're earning, give 100. And over time you would become. I mean, there's nothing more blessed. You feel great when you're able to give.
And that's the reward.
What are you gonna have? So I think that's teaching our young people.
So Mala, in closing, how can someone donate to Change for Charity?
Okay, before I say that, I would like to just add to what Giselle said and say that giving doesn't always have to be money. Although this is about giving to Change for Charity. Giving can be your time, your energy, your support, your expertise. So not everyone is in a position to give funds. Not everyone is in a position to give a lot of funds. Every drop of water makes a mighty ocean. So all that you choose to give is important, but it doesn't only have to be money. It takes every kind of resource to build a supportive community and charity. And the next question was, how can someone give?
Yes.
So for specific to Change for Charity, please give by remembering to tell your cashier at any one of the RAM supermarket locations that you would like to make a donation. So your donation, you give in increments of 5. You can choose to give $5 to any one charity. You can choose to give $5 to more than one charity. You can choose to give more than 5. You can choose to give once in your life, once a week, once a month. Every little bit makes a difference. The other thing I was going to say is that 100% of what you give goes towards the charity. Even if you pay by credit card or by debit card, the company doesn't keep any of it. The charity gets it every quarter. They'll get a summary and they get it every quarter. And the last thing I wanted to say that I'm having a moment to remember is that it will show up on your slip. So there's full transparency. You'll see it on your cash register slip, who you have given to and how much you've given.
Okay, good stuff.
Awesome.
So This is indeed a beautiful note to end on today. So we want to thank you guys for coming and educating us and the viewers on how they can give to the charities that are including under your umbrella. So thank you once again for coming, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I forgot to show that these were the BARC tags.
BARC tags.
Right. So another way for you to support BARC and for you to make sure that your animal never gets lost is to get a BARC tag. There are 20, Peyton?
20 EC?
20 EC for the small and 25 EC for the large.
Okay. And then you can get them at BARC itself. BARC, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks to Rocket. You left Rocket up. Thanks, Rocket, for coming back.
Rocket's hiding.